The following audio was originally aired on Play by Play on KLEB Radio.
When we get back, Damien St. Pierre will be joining us to talk about their Flash League, their developmental league. They just started their Flash developmental program, which is really, really cool, y'all. It's an awesome thing that they're doing. A lot of summer basketball is about, oh, man, we got to go and play as many games as possible, and you got to go deal with, facing kids that are 4 years older than your kid. They're not going to be doing any of that over the summer. It's an awesome thing that they're doing, and it's not necessarily for the quote-unquote star players. There's little Jimmy and Joe or, little Peggy Sue who's just learning how to play, wants to get some time on the floor. It's going to be an awesome opportunity for he and she to both get that.
The summertime is important because a lot of people grow their game more in the summer because if you concentrate on practicing more, you don't have to play in the summer. Coach Kathy Luke proved that last year.
100%.
They didn't play a game, and they had a great season.
100%.
Now, you still want to play if you have the opportunity, and go play a few games. But if you don't play games, you can still.
Not the end of the world.
Right.
Get in the gym and do something.
And the weight room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lift and fundamentals.
Yeah.
And play. Have fun.
Absolutely. Get in there and do something. Don't sit on the couch and play video games like I do. We got a lot of people that are just getting off of work, get off at noon on Friday. We got others that are raw dogging it in the office and are trying to make it happen, pushing all the way through until 5 o'clock. We go to the phone lines and we welcome Damien St. Pierre to our program. Coach D, good afternoon, sir. Thanks for joining us. How we doing, brother?
Hey, Casey, doing well. I'm one of those people that will probably be in the office till 5 o'clock today.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, my friend. Nothing wrong with that at all, man. Look, let's talk about it. You guys have launched your Flash Developmental League. Things have gotten rolling. I think that this is transcendent for our area. I really do genuinely believe that. The opportunity for more kids to be able to play is amazing. The opportunity to get them quality work is amazing. How have things been going so far for you and all the boys and girls who have made the decision to try to join the league?
Man, it's been fantastic. I can't pinpoint really the reason on why we haven't done this before. Maybe it was the time, and my girls that were in third grade or fourth grade when we started. Now they're in high school, so they're kind of doing their own thing, and maybe that's the thing. Still rolling on the travel side. We played last weekend, but this is just different. And last night we did a voluntary session which didn't count towards anything because the coaching staff had time. We had a facility to be able to do it, so we signed up, and we had over 100 kids that were there during spring break. You got softball going on, you got baseball going on, you got flag football going on, and we're still able to fill the gym and just teaching them how to do it the right way, making sure they're confident. We still got a few things to figure out as far as the placement on where kids go, and obviously kids are going to get better, and that may move them up and down. And want to make sure that they knew last night, moving up and down is a good thing. You may move down if you're not catching on as fast as everybody else, or you need some confidence, may move you down, and vice versa on the opposite side. And look, it's different for me because you got a range of 12 to 13-year-olds, and then last night I'll shout him out. Luke Chasson, he was with the advanced group. He's 8 years old, and he's right there with everybody else. And I know when he left last night, he had some super confidence, man, and it was awesome to see. And teaching them some things that they haven't learned yet. We started on the basics of man-to-man defense last night. I said, look, this is a gift that you'll make every coach that you play for the rest of your life very happy. And I said, you may not understand what you're doing. I said, but we're building it from the ground up. If you don't understand, please ask questions. And last night was special, man. I'll be honest with you. I went to bed with a very happy heart.
Man, look, talk to me about this. It is so important, and you know this. It's so important for the kids to be challenged because, man, look, if a kid's just rolling through everybody and it's boring for them and they're going to develop bad habits, whatever. But from what you're telling me, one of the keys and one of the secret sauces to this league is the fact that if a kid starts dominating, well, they're going up. If a kid starts struggling, you're going to throw them a life raft and you're going to pull them back down. And I think that that's going to be awesome. Everybody's going to be challenged, but no one's going to be overwhelmed. Everybody's going to be in a place where it's going to be healthy competition, and I think that that's very important.
That's the whole point of the league is to bring a different side of basketball, strictly fundamentals, and then just getting better. And there's no way to get better by not being able to hide and having to produce. So, even game to game, whenever we start playing games, which I still think we're probably a month away from doing that, we got a lot of work to do on a number of different things. But if you're, like you said, if you're dominating a certain group, guess what? Odds are you're not going to be with that group the following week, and you're not going to be able to rely on, not to hate, but I've been known to be a hater. The daddy boy that touches the ball every possession, you're not going to have that. You're not going to be able to hide, and if your defense ain't up to snub, you're going to get exposed, and you may have to move up, may have to move down, and just keep the games competitive and just play real basketball, and that's something that it's an alternative to the travel programs where you could show up in a game and you got two kids on the team that's going to score 50 points and just dominate you. And we're not getting away from competition. This is going to be true competition because, like I said, you're not going to be able to hide. You're not going to be able to rely on somebody that can score 20 points a game, and you're going to have to bring out your best every time that you step on the floor. And look, kids are happy, coaches are happy, and I know it's the beginning and everybody's happy at the beginning, but this is something that we could continue to build on, and I'm so super excited about it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And look, talk to me about this. You guys are also on just the traditional and conventional travel circuit, or playing games on that end as well. So you guys have several teams, boys and girls both, that are starting to crank up their summer competition. How has that been going? I know you took a group of girls last weekend, and I think there have been some other teams that have been cranked up as well. How has that been going as we kind of shift and move into this summer basketball season?
So we played a one-day with Harold Boudreaux, a friend of mine, Coach Eric Gravy. Harold Boudreaux, obviously LSU, renowned Harold Boudreaux. Everybody knows him. The guy speaks fluent Cajun French, by the way, if you ever speak to him.
Come on.
Start talking to him in Cajun French, and he will be right there with you. He knows way more than I do. So we got to play kind of a league game. They do something every Saturday, and it's awesome because they'll try to match you up with some competition, or if you're not that good, they'll try to match you up competitively. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if Saturday was just an off day for everybody, or everybody's just trying to get some experience, but they had some of the top girls programs in the state in Baton Rouge at Southern Lab University last Saturday, and we were lucky enough to be able to go and compete against some of those teams. And our 7th grade squad did really well. We're transitioning into man-to-man defense, and we're teaching that, and we took some lumps, and I stayed true, something I probably haven't or wouldn't have done in the past. We stayed true to it to try to get better. That's what those type of games are for. Obviously, we go in a tournament, we want to win, but we took a game, specifically one game on Saturday, and we stuck with it. And every other game we played some here and there and just switched it up. But still, great competition. We were successful. And then on the 8th grade side, we were very limited in our numbers, but very quality. And we kind of rolled through some competition. And look, we got better. We had, like I said, six kids playing on an 8th grade team, and I want to say 4 to 6 or 7th graders that have played all day. So they're playing their 4th and 5th game. And I want to shout out my kid, which I don't normally do. She hit 2 crucial back-to-back threes with a busted lip in that last game when nobody else could go. I guess that mile and a mile and a half track session had paid off because she still had some guys left in the tank. But a quality team, last game of the day, that hasn't lost yet in the 3-week season, and we were able to beat them by double digits. So we walked out of there very proud.
Bro, it's becoming a situation where, and look, I was on the beginning end of this. I haven't been, an active coach for a while, but it makes me smile knowing that when you're trying to convince a parent or whatever, hey, you guys should spend your summer with us, it's becoming a situation where the proof is kind of in the pudding, man. I mean, you guys have had Emmy Ingram, that's a first-team All-State player, and Terrence, who was a district MVP and an All-State player, and Jaden Coleman, who's a first-team All-State player, Benjamin Case, who was a first-team All-State player. If you guys really would crunch those numbers and just kind of make a running list of all of the All-State, All-District caliber players that y'all have had flow through the program, it's not a coincidence, man. Like, you guys aren't, the sole reason why these kids are what they are. They're special kids, but you guys have had a hand in that journey, and that is a big recruiting tool, man.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome to hear back from some of those young men and young ladies and their parents as well, to just hey, look, Coach, we appreciate you. Thanks for what you did. And we're not doing it for the attaboys. We're doing it because we have a passion for it. And we have a passion for helping folks out and putting them in opportunities that they could be successful. And it's just to hear that list rattled off, man, it kind of gives me the goosebumps because we've had some super talented kids. And I don't even know if we scratch the surface on some of that, some of the talent that has been around our area. And just kids like Benjamin Case, man, fantastic young man. And happy to be a friend of his, a friend of his dad, and just having the trust and knowing, and I'll probably take Coach Colley with this, just doing it the right way. And I learned a lot from him on how to do things the right way. And people seeing that from outside the area and coming and wanting to play for you. We don't actively recruit, like you said. We kind of let that proof and that history of our program, which we've been around. I think this is year 13. We just let that. If you want to play for us, you're going to play for us. If we got to go out and get you, you're probably going to be that person that maybe jumps teams, and not really what we're looking for. Certain cases, obviously, you got kids that have maybe got older, moved on, that want to play a couple of weeks with you. Yeah, dude, you played with us before, you're more than welcome. Once you're a member of the Flash family, you're always a member of the Flash family, and that's kind of how we look at it. But they know the expectations. We're not just rolling the ball out and say, hey, look, we're just going to go play this weekend. There's a method behind the madness. We want to get better. We want to teach fundamental skills. We want to give an opportunity for them to compete and get better. And I think we've done a good job over the like I said, the last 13 years of giving that opportunity and doing things the right way. Hey, look, is everything perfect? No, obviously that'll never happen. But to grow from when we started with one or two teams that were mostly comprised of the same kids just playing up with three or four other kids, and now we have 7 to 8 teams a year consistently with consistent coaches that have taken groups and moved on with them. That's my favorite part, just having that consistency and having a program that if you want to play in our area, you got a spot.
The following audio was originally aired on Play by Play on KLEB Radio.